Okay, so we're getting ready for tomorrow's test on law of sines and law of cosines. Okay, so what's going to be on the test? The law of cosines, law of sines. Law of sines, we're going to be dealing with the ambiguous case, that side-side angle case, and the angle side case. With the law of cosines, side, 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 angle, side, and of course, the area of the oblique triangles equation. Okay, so just going to work through some problems. So the first triangle that we're given. Okay, so when we start any kind of problem where we're solving the triangle, the first thing we got to do is figure out which case we have. Okay, so in this case, I have two sides and an angle, and my angle matches one of my sides. So this is the actual ambiguous case. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do here is we need to find the height. Okay, and the reason I'm going to find the height is because when I look at this, A is not bigger, the side that matches the angle is not bigger than the other side given, which means there could be zero solutions. So I'm going to write down my information that I'm given. And then the first thing I'm going to do is find the height. So the height for this one is going to be C times the sine of A, which means it's 20 times the sine of 56. And you're just going to plug that into the calculator. And you get the height, which is 16.580751, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that means that we have two solutions because the side that matches the angle is bigger than my height, but smaller than the other side given, which means there are going to be two solutions on this problem. Okay, so we'll start by setting up our law of sines. So we have to solve for angle C first. Okay, so set up our law of sines. So sine of 56 over 17 equals the sine of C over 20. And then we cross multiply and divide, and we get C equals sine negative 1 of 20 times the sine of 56 over 17. And we plug that into our calculator, and it tells us that C is 77.2489 dot 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 dot. Okay, so now I know what angle C is. Angle C is 77.2 degrees. Okay, now that I have two of my angles, I can find the third one by subtracting those two from 180, which gives me angle B, which is 46.8 degrees. And then we can find side B by doing the law of sines one more time. Sine of 56 over 17. Use the exact same ratio we did in the first one, but this time we're solving for side B, so it's going to be sine of 46.8 over side B. And then we cross multiply and divide, and that means that B is 14.948016 dot dot dot, which means this is going to be 14.9. Okay, so there's my triangle solved. So the next thing to do is find the area. Okay, so to keep kind of my rounding error to a minimum, I'm going to use this equation. Area equals 1/2 times C times the sine of B. So I'm going to use that area equation. Okay, and you just plug in your sides. So it's going to be 1/2 times 17 times 20 times the sine of 46.8, and you get 123.9. Okay? All right. So that's my first solution. All right? But now I have a second solution I have to find. Okay? Because this is the ambiguous case. So I start over down here. So here we go. We start off with the same pieces of information. Okay? Because a triangle has to be the same as it was given. Now, the difference is, if I try to solve for angle C again, I'm going to get that 77.2. Okay, so what I'm going to have to do here is actually to find C here, I'm going to take 180 degrees and subtract the first angle I found to give me my new angle. So for my second solution, instead of setting up the law of sines again to find that same angle, I just subtract the first one from 180 degrees. And that gives me 102.8. And then again, subtract these two from 180, gives me 21.2 degrees for angle B. And then basically using the exact same ratio we did up here to find B the last time, sine of 56 over 17 equals the sine, and this time plug in 21.2, and that'll find my new side B, which is 7.41536, blah, 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 which 7.4.